everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Criterion, previewing upcoming Criterion releases coming out in the UK and US across the next month. Terry Gilliam is a member of the famous Monty Python team. Now, they produced alternative comedy for the BBC and went on to feature films, a natural progression for their zany, off-the-wall humour. Now, Terry Gilliam, as well as contributing to the sketches, became the animator for the show and also many of the full-length features. He directed his first feature film, Jabberwocky, to be followed by Time Bandits, and what could be classed as his Orwellian look at dystopia, Brazil. Now, we've just seen his much-troubled, over-budgeted The Adventures of Baron Munchausen arrive in the Criterion Collection earlier this year. With The Fisher King, he teams up with Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams in a 1991 fantasy drama tale of a radio shock jock who tries to find redemption by helping a man whose life he inadvertently shatters. It explores the intermingling of New York City's usually strictly separated social strata and has been described by many as a modern-day Grail quest that fused New York romantic comedy with timeless fantasy. During an appearance on an episode of The Directors, Gilliam stated that he wanted to do the film because he was tired of big-budget special effects movies such as his previous films, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which went over budget and cost him $45 million, nearly twice as much as The Fisher King's budget of $24 million. Now, this was the first film Gilliam directed in which he was not involved in writing the screenplay, as well as his first film not to feature any other members of the Monty Python team. Working for the first time from a script written by someone else, a then relatively unknown young writer named Richard Lagravenese, who would go on to become one of Hollywood's biggest screenwriters, the director created a film that took the textures of contemporary New York and gave them a magical spin, inventively balancing Lagravenese's interest in character and dramatic realism with his own dark visual sensibility and penchant for social satire. Now, with this film, Gilliam's aesthetic entered the real world, and he has never made another movie quite like it. Jack Lucas is a narcissistic, misanthropic shock jock who becomes suicidal and despondent when his insensitive on-air comments inadvertently prompt a mentally unstable caller to commit a mass murder-suicide at a Manhattan restaurant. 3 years later, Jack is working for his girlfriend Anne in a video store and is in a mostly drunken and depressed state. One night, while on a bender, he contemplates suicide. However, he is attacked and nearly set on fire by thugs who mistake him for a homeless person, and he is rescued by Parry, a delusional homeless man who claims his mission is to find the Holy Grail. Now, the film was released in the United States by TriStar Pictures on September 20th, 1991, and it received generally favourable reviews from critics and grossed $72 million on its $24 million budget. At the 64th Academy Awards, the film earned 5 nominations, including Best Actor for Williams and Best Original Screenplay for Lagravenese, with Mercedes Ruehl winning Best Supporting Actress. Both performances by Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams are superb, and shows that if there is any doubt at all about Gilliam's ability as a director, this film disproves it. From the very opening, with its sleek modern spaces and pop soundtrack, we're in an environment of stylized chilly alienation, with popular DJ Jack Lucas mouthing off to callers on his radio show. Gilliam heightens the sense of Jack's being sealed in, the walls of the studio shot from above with forced perspective, seeming almost like a fortress or a fashionable bomb shelter. Now, we don't really see Jack's face during this sequence, we only see close-ups of his mouth, or the back of his head, or his shadow on the wall, like some kind of mysterious beast. Now, I can't omit mentioning the film's most celebrated scene, and that, of course, is a dreamlike reverie in which the mass of rushing, faithless commuters in Grand Central Terminal suddenly start waltzing with one another. Magical. It's a surreal moment by any measure, but in this film, where nobody ever has any time for anyone, it stands out as particularly alien and fantastical, a vision of a city that can never be. And it's also worth noting that Gilliam himself imagined and added this scene. Robin Williams embodies a character, and as Roger Ebert said on a pre-appraisal of his performance after his sad demise, Williams gradually simmers to a boil of bristling insecurities, terror and agonising internalised pain. Now, this was a fine dramatic performance which took Williams a distance away from his light comedic performances of the past up to that point. And of course, Jeff Bridges always shows his versatility as an actor as the shock jock Jack Lucas. Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams are supported by an excellent supporting cast consisting of Mercedes Ruehl as Anne Napolitano, Amanda Plummer as Lydia Sinclair, Michael Jeter as the homeless cabaret singer, David Hyde Pierce as Lou Rosen, Lara Harris as Sondra, Harry Shearer as Ben Starr, Kathy Najimy as crazed video customer, John Delancey as the TV executive, and Tom Waits as the disabled veteran. This 4K UHD upgrade is very impressive, and because of the Dolby Vision grading, the Red Knight's arrival is breathtaking. The film still very much looks like a 1990s movie, but the colour saturation is vastly improved and shows no evidence of any digital tinkering, compared to the 2015 US Blu-ray, which was taken from a 2K restoration. Now, this is a new 4K restoration approved by the director Terry Gilliam with a 5.1 surround soundtrack. There, of course, is one 4K UHD disc of the film presented in Dolby Vision HDR and a second Blu-ray disc with the following special features. The Tale of the Fisher King, two short documentaries that focus on the film's production history, featuring interviews with Gilliam, producer Linda Obst, screenwriter Richard LaGravenese, and actors Jeff Bridges, Amanda Plummer and Mercedes Ruehl. Audio commentary by Gilliam. Interviews with artists Keith Greco and Vincent Jeffords on the creation of the film's Red Knight. An interview from 2006 with actor Robin Williams. Video essay featuring Bridges on set and his photographs, of course. Footage from 1991 of Bridges' training as a radio personality with acting coach Stephen W. Bridgewater. Deleted scenes with an audio commentary by Gilliam. Costume tests. Trailers. And, of course, an essay by the critic Bilge Iberi. The visual effects are still impressive if somewhat dated now, but Gilliam's vision shines through. His films aren't for everyone, of course, but this film has a nice balance of fantasy and grounding in the real world that may appeal to less hardened Gilliam fans. I personally am a big fan of this director and, of course, somewhat biased in my personal views on this film. But as always, I'll try and remain as impartial as I can and let those relatively new to his work make up their mind for themselves. The singular American Odyssey features a witty script by Richard LaGravenese, evocative cinematography by Roger Pratt, and superb supporting performances by Amanda Plummer and an Oscar-winning Mercedes Ruehl, all harnessed by Gilliam into a compassionate, funny modern-day myth. The Fisher King has a running time of 138 minutes, and it's a 178:1 aspect ratio. There are no black bars. It releases on 4K UHD on Tuesday, 11th of April in the US only. And of course the UK already has this title available on Blu-ray and it's Spine 764.